Welcome to my Adjustimate training video, Module 1 for beginners. In this module, you will learn how to 1. Download and install the application. 2. Create a user account. 3. Personalize your settings, create a new project, and switch between existing projects. 4. Navigate within the menu. 1. Download and install the application. To get started, you need to download and install the MyAdjustimate app on your device. MyAdjustimate can be downloaded for iOS devices such as an iPhone or iPad or any Android device. For the purpose of this tutorial, an iPhone will be used. Go to the App Store or Google Play and type MyAdjustimate in the search box. Then install the application. The download is completely free and takes less than a minute. Tap Install, then Open. When MyAdjustimate is installed and launched for the first time, the End User Agreement page pops up. Scroll all the way down and tap the Accept button to agree with the terms of use. Congratulations! You have just installed the MyAdjustimate app on your device. 2. Create a user account. You will be prompted to create a new free account. Tap Sign Up for an account here. Provide a valid email address, your credentials, and create a password. Then click the Register button. You have just created a new user account. The app will take you to a welcome screen again, where you will have to type your email, login, and password one more time. By default, the app remembers your credentials. If your device is used by other people, it is recommended to log off after each session. You are at the main screen where you will personalize your settings. 3. Personalize your settings, create a new project, or switch between existing projects. On the main screen, you can see the following options. Show file name on image. This function shows you how to permanently overlay a label over the photo in the upper left corner. This is an optional function and can be turned off and on depending on the carrier requirements or your preferences. Show timestamp on image. This function gives you an option to show the time and the date when the pictures were taken in the upper left corner just under the photo label. The function also is optional and can be turned on and off at any time. The next function, Projects Available, shows you how many projects or credits are still available for you to use. Once you exceed the number of available projects, or reach 0, you would have to buy more credits for future inspections. You have to remember that every site inspection equals one project or credit. You simply cannot combine multiple site inspections into one project, as it would create clutter in your archived folders. We will talk more about that later in this module. For the time being, credits are sold in batches of 5. Let's talk a little more about the next two buttons, Create New Project and Open Existing Project. As I mentioned before, every site inspection should be treated as a new project. Otherwise, photos from different site inspections will be mixed together under the same folder, causing archiving nightmares. The whole concept of this app is to separate these photos into a neat folder structure system where the photos are easy to find. You can always come back to an existing project later, the next day, in a week, in case of a reinspection or the simple necessity for additional photos. All you have to do is tap on the Open Existing Project button and select the desired site project. I would recommend naming every project in a specific logical way that makes sense to you, such as the claim number, address, or customer name, something that will allow you to find it easily later on. The Sign Out button. If more than one user is assigned to the specific device, this is where you need to log in and out when switching users. Generally speaking, however, you will most likely be using your own personal smartphone, which you would probably not be sharing with anyone else. But by default, you are logged in for as long as you don't manually log yourself out. In the upper right corner, there's the question mark icon. If you have any question about the app, simply tap on it and it will take you to an email form where you may send your thoughts, feedback, findings, or anything else you want to share with us. Later, in the photo live mode, the question mark will be placed in the upper left corner. The last option on the menu is a Dropbox setting, where you can sync your Dropbox account with our app so you don't have to upload photos to your Mac or PC via USB cable. I will talk more about that in the next module. Okay, it's time to go into the first project and show you how to navigate within the menu. 4. Navigate within the menu. Once you type in a name for the new project and tap the Create button, the screen will change into a camera mode with semi-transparent menus. There's a reason for that transparency. It allows you to see through the area you want to photograph, and at the same time it allows you to choose a photo description from the menu options while not obstructing your view. Let me just briefly go through all the features of the new screen. The top left corner with the My Adjustimate logo takes you to the Settings window. The question mark works exactly the same way as I mentioned before. It's just placed in a different area. There are two separate menus. The right menu is a tree folder structure that begins with dwelling and other structures and then opens up to add more detailed labeling such as elevation, interior, risk overview, and roof. More will be shown about that in a few minutes. The left menu allows you to choose the type of damage such as wind, hail, water, fire, etc. In the top middle section, there's a place for the name of the current project. The main menu button at the lower right corner takes you to the beginning of the menu or to the top of the tree folder structure. There is also a bottom navigation bar or level up button that takes you up a notch in the tree structure. From time to time I'll be using all of these geek terms such as a tree folder structure or nesting or root, as our menu works exactly on the principle of a folder tree structure. And so, the dwelling or other structures button options are the root or the starting point to create any photo. As you tap on it, the menu replaces itself with more available options that describe an item in greater detail. For example, tap Dwelling, followed by Roof, followed by Accessories, followed by Chimney Flashing, followed by Copper. Notice that when you tap on the item Copper, it is highlighted. You cannot go any further down. You have reached the end of nesting. Only then will the shutter button appear so that you can take a photo. Tap on it. What just happened in the background was a JPEG file being created in the folder marked Roof, and the file is labeled Copper Chimney Flashing JPEG. I will talk much more about it in the next modules. For now, all you need to know is that every time you tap the shutter switch, the yellow bar follows with the file name that is stored in a designated folder on your phone and later in the cloud. The concept of the shutter button is simple. You have to exceed all available description options before you can snap a picture. In a way, it forces you to be as accurate as possible. Speaking about accuracy, let's take it to the next level. With the current setting chosen, tap onto the left menu and select the Hail Damage feature and snap another photo. The left menu adds a suffix to the existing file, describing it with even more detail. In our particular case, Copper Chimney Flashing Hail Damage JPEG. The bottom navigation bar shows you the entire path of how you got to this point. Dwelling, roof, accessories, chimney flashing, copper, hail damage. If there is a different accessory on the roof that you want to photograph, there are several ways to do that. It's just a matter of preference. You can start over by tapping on the main menu. It will take you to the beginning of the tree or the root, and you have to work your way down to Dwelling, Roof, Accessories, then pick whatever option you want next. You can just tap on Accessories on the bottom navigation bar, and it will take you to 2 levels up immediately to the Accessories section. Or you can tap the Level Up button at the top of the right menu. This will take you to the chimney flashing options. Tap it again to take you to the accessories options. This feature takes you up 1 level at a time. Let's try another example. Say you're inspecting a detached garage roof and need to photograph a test square on the left slope. From the main menu, select Other Structures, Detached Garage, then select Roof. Scroll to Test Square 10 by 10 and select Left Slope. You have the following options to choose from: Damage Overview, Hail Hit Count, Wind Damage, or other custom text. Go ahead and select Hail Hit Count and the amount of hits on a 10 by 10 area, 8. Snap a photo. If you need to make a close-up photo of the hail hits, scroll to the top and select Hail Hit Close-Up and snap another photo. Another example, hail damage to the window screen on the rear elevation. Tap Dwelling, Elevation, Rear Elevation, scroll down to Window Screen, and from the left menu, select Hail Damage. Another example, Interior, Water Damage Ceiling in Family Room. Dwelling, Interior, First Floor, Family Room, Ceiling, Plaster, and from the left menu, Water Damage, and take a picture. It all may seem a little complicated at first, but it is really simply logical order and common sense. You will memorize most of the items in no time and decide which way is the most efficient for you. If there's a scenario where you have to do multiple photos of one area, for example, 4 corners of the room, You don't have to do it over and over, as the program remembers the last keystroke combination. Let's try. Tap the main menu so it takes us to the top of the right menu. Select Dwelling, Interior, First Floor, scroll down to the living room, and choose Overview from the top of the list. You have exceeded all the possible options, so the shutter button appears. Tap on it. It created the first file for First Floor Living Room Overview JPEG. Tap it again. First Floor Living Room Overview 1 JPEG. Tap it again. First Floor Living Room Overview 2 JPEG. Basically, it adds the suffix 1, 2, and so on, and also remembers the most recent setup, so there's no redundancy to it. Pretty neat, huh? In general, both menus are very intuitive. You will memorize it quickly, but obviously it will take some time and training to master. Always use common sense. You wouldn't look for hail damage in the section for interior, or aluminum siding in the roofing section. And if there's an item you cannot find, there is always a custom text feature. You can type or use speech-to-text option to address items that are not listed under the standard menu. At the end of the inspection, or rather later during the back office processing, you will end up with the following folder structure: Dwelling, followed by Roof, Elevation, Risk Overview, and Interior, and respectively labeled JPEG inside, and similarly. Other structures, followed by Elevation, Interior, Risk Overview, and Roof, with all the photos placed in their designated folders. We will focus more on that during the next modules. Lastly, I want to mention that the order of the photos taken on the job site doesn't matter. If you do some photos of the interior, then the roof, and then come back to the interior again, photos from these 4 categories, elevation, interior, risk overview, and roof, will end up in the designated folders regardless of the sequence in which these photos were taken. This will conclude the Module 1 for beginners. Thank you for your attention, and I will see you on the second intermediate training module. Thank you.